York Minster, like most cathedrals of the realm, is often busy with visitors throughout the year, and indeed has been for many decades or even centuries. One pleasant summer evening in the 1920s, a party of such people were being shown around the huge edifice by a volunteer guide. As sometimes happens on these occasions, a couple of the group were left behind as they studied one item of interest for a little too long. Suddenly, the young lady of the couple had the strange feeling that she was being watched. She looked across the aisle and audibly caught her breath. The young man who was accompanying the young lady looked up at her and was astonished to see that she had turned white, with a horrified expression on her face. He followed the line of her transfixed gaze and was surprised to see a very smart young man in naval uniform looking back at his companion. He was just about to say something when the naval fellow strode quickly across the aisle, bent down, and then whispered something into the young lady's ear. With that, he was off towards the exit. The companion was shocked by the encounter. He checked that the young lady was all right, then made off after the man in uniform to find out what was going on. It all seemed decidedly odd. However, when he got to the exit, he discovered that the man had disappeared in the crowd outside and could not be found. By that time, the rest of the guided group had realised that something was wrong and had turned back to inquire of the young lady as to what had happened, her young companion having joined them by this time. Surrounded by well-wishers, she now felt much more composed and began to relate some details of her experience. She had an older brother, she explained, who shared her curiosity in the supernatural, the nature of the human spirit, and the possibility of life after death. They had years ago made a pact between them that whichever of them should pass away first would make every effort to inform the other that, indeed, the spirit did continue after death, should that be the case. Not so long ago, her brother had become an officer in the Navy and had been posted abroad for some time. Yet, it was her own brother that she had seen right there in the Minster not a few moments before. How could he possibly be there but be abroad at the same time? Most of the others in the group were convinced that this must have been someone else, someone who looked like her brother. But she was not for a second swayed by their scepticism. "But what did he say to you?" inquired the young male companion. Her voice trembled as she explained that he had approached her and then whispered in her ear, "There is a future state." Subsequently, the young lady elaborated a little about her experience. The instant it uttered those words, my fears were confirmed. I knew my poor brother was dead, and that what I looked at was only his ghost or shadow. Not 1 week later, the officer's family were informed of his death in a far-off land. Furthermore, upon examining the dispatch, they discovered that, astonishingly, the time and date of his demise were exactly the same as that of the young lady's encounter in York Minster.